chapter of Dragon Ball Super Universe 6 is the virus. Vegeta is the cure. That's right, he finally decides to jump into the ring in this month's chapter and kick all sorts of alien ass. Frost, Magetta, getting ready to start his battle with Kabe. This was a pretty awesome chapter of Dragon Ball Super, and probably would have had much more of an impact if the anime hadn't already started its next arc of the series. You see, this whole big tournament has already been wrapped up in anime form, so there really wasn't a big surprise while reading this manga. However, there are some differences here, some I like and some that I don't like, so let's just sort of go ahead and run through this whole chapter. The main story this week is that Vegeta got to fight against Frost and Magetta, and he begins his battle with Kabe, which means he completely wipes the floor with Frost, has a somewhat tough battle with Magetta, and things are really going to kick off in the next chapter when he gets to fight against Kabe, a Saiyan from the 6th universe. But let's go ahead and talk about the individual fights and the differences between that one and the anime version. So when he fights against Frost, basically Vegeta's just all quiet, getting himself pumped up, getting ready to take this guy down. He knows it's going to be really satisfying. As soon as the bell rings, Vegeta gets right up in Frost's face and starts attacking him left and right. And this leads to a flurry of punches and kicks, which ends up sending Frost flying out of the ring in just the span of a couple of pages. Now, while I thought the choreography looked really awesome in the manga version and something that I would have liked to have seen in the anime, I like the way the anime version did it better because Vegeta just gets right up in Frost's face and finishes him off with one single punch. No fanfare, just screaming in his face, punching him, and that is the end of the character. Not to mention, they glossed over this really cool scene which shows off Hit's powers for the very first time, because in the anime version, Frost reveals his true nature, which he's a bad guy. He decides to try and run away and steal Champa's traveling cube. That's when he's confronted by Hit, who just completely beats the crap out of him and ends up dragging him right back to Champa. That does not happen at all in the manga version. This is officially the abridged version of Dragon Ball Super. And then that brings us to the battle with Magetta, which again I think is pretty entertaining when compared to the anime version. In fact, there's a lot of scenes here that I really loved. I especially like the fact that Vegeta has a really tough time in actually just like hurting and moving Magetta because he's just so ridiculously heavy. He can't even pick him up. I really love that scene where he tries to topple him over by grabbing his feet, and then Magetta just continuously starts pounding Vegeta in the head. It's a funny scene which was not present in the anime version, but Vegeta is able to take out Magetta in a really clever way. He actually ends up destroying a lot of the ring around Magetta's feet, basically leaving him on this little small island ring that he has to stay on, otherwise he is completely screwed, and he's attacking him from multiple angles when suddenly Vegeta decides to make fun of Magetta. Basically, he's just raging on him, but the thing about Magetta's race is, if they're actually insulted, something that's really, really insulting to them, they're going to lose all of their will to fight, and essentially just turn into jello. So Vegeta just gets up in there, destroys Magetta, that's the end, Kabe jumps in the ring, and that's the end of this month's chapter. So what's the rundown on this month's chapter of Dragon Ball Super? I have to say I'm slightly disappointed, but not because the manga was bad or anything, it's just we're now at that point where the anime has just surpassed the manga in just about every single way. There were a couple of scenes in this month's chapter that were completely different from the anime version, and I actually think that sort of took away from the overall impact of some of the most important scenes from Dragon Ball Super. The first one being Hit, actually going up against Frost. It is the first time that we actually see his powers, the way he actually fights for the very first time, and the first time you see it, you don't even know what to think. Like, you have no idea what's going on. He, like, suddenly just seems to stop time all around you, and then suddenly Frost has all of these beams just explode out of his body, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Obviously, anime viewers now know exactly what's going on, but at the time, it was an extreme mystery, and it was a great way to build up the character of Hit. And then there was Vegeta versus Magetta. There were things that I liked in the manga, and there were things I liked in the anime, but what the anime did better was the finale, where Vegeta was getting ready to do his final attack on Magetta, where he actually brought back his classic technique, the Final Flash. This was followed by him just flying right into Magetta, making fun of him and punching him so hard that he falls out of the ring. I just thought it was more impactful in the anime version. Simple as that. That being said, if for some reason you just do not want to watch the anime version and you haven't seen any of the current episodes yet and you just like to read this as a manga, then check out Dragon Ball Super. But honestly, I have to recommend the anime version. It's just going a lot faster, there's more expanded scenes, and it's just frankly just more fun to digest the story that way, in my humble opinion. That being said, this was still a pretty exciting chapter, and on its own, it's pretty freaking awesome. It's got some great artwork, lots of cool moments from Vegeta, especially when he's wailing on Frost, and seeing Kabe getting ready to come into the ring is really awesome. So this was an exciting chapter of Dragon Ball Super. It just seems a little redundant at this point. But on its own merits, I think this was a very exciting chapter, so I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Check it out, Dragon Ball fans. You might see something you like. That being said, I would love to hear from you guys. What did you think of this month's chapter of Dragon Ball Super? Do you like the manga version, the anime version better? Did you have a favorite fight scene from this chapter that you really loved? Maybe a favorite moment? What do you want to see in the manga battle between Vegeta and Kabe? Do you think they're going to make any big changes when compared to the anime version? And what do you want to see from the rest of Dragon Ball Super? Please tell me in the comments section below. You guys are awesome. Thank you for watching this review. I really appreciate it. If you would like to, please subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be able to see all of our latest anime and manga reviews. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.